What is up? Welcome back. Great to be with you. JB Breaking Free, episode 3. Trying to do this daily, give little updates, support each other. Today I'm going to go through some of my sports cards as investments. It's kind of scratched the itch from being a minimalist and collecting. I would love to collect all these sets. And then they would just sit there and I wouldn't be happy. And I want to tell you something else too. These cards have brought some joy to my life, especially the ones that I've hit on. I've been investing since about November 2019, but I have a longer history of collecting sports cards, which I'll kind of talk a little bit about. But at the end of the day, these cards, they don't really bring that much happiness to my life. I still have stress. I still have anxieties. I'm happy because I work at being happy. It's not this stuff. But, it is something. Most of this I'm doing with my buddy, and we talk about. And yes, some we've hit on and some we've taken a little dip on. But we kind of just hold. And I think it's also better than gambling on sports because I certainly don't know what the heck's going on. And I don't believe anybody does. So I kind of rip on my buddy who always bets, and I'm just like, go with cards, brother. You can't lose. Can't lose in quotes. But we've done so well, and I've done pretty good in cards. Briefly putting my day up for review yesterday. I did get home, and I know I've been trying to eat better. I've talked about I had a meatball sub my wife made, and she toasted the roll, and it was so good with cheese, and the bread was so soft, and that was my dinner. Screw it. But I did make a mistake. I had a few too many cookies at about 10 o'clock last night. It stinks being a waiter. You're eating late. Like, I have lunch around noon, and I'm not getting home till 9:30, 10. And it's just the lifestyle that I lead. So I have to get better at that. I didn't read yesterday. I have to get better at reading, stretching, maybe a little more focus on meditating. What I did well, I saved a lot of money. I worked hard. I tried my best to be happy, to discard anxiety, like Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, would say. It's within my power to focus on what I can control, to bring awareness to these things, and that's why I think these videos are good, to keep going through a daily checklist, keep bringing awareness with each other, and eventually you can't correct what you don't really notice, and so I think it's good that we can share our stuff here, share what you're doing well and share what you're struggling with. Let me know if you're collecting any cards or investing in any cards, if it brings you any joy. And I got kind of roped in right before the hobby took off, and then I kind of got bit a little bit at the end, but, the cards are still here, and there's some fun. But overall, it's been pretty lucrative for me. Just a quick backstory. I have collected cards my whole life. I like to say I'm a massive collector, but now I'm a minimalist, so I have to fight that urge. I would collect anything, and one day I'll probably do a video about all the crazy things I'd like to collect. I mean, you name it, I'd like to hoard it and collect it. But it was about the summer of 2019. I was listening to Gary Vee, and he was been talking about sports cards, and it started to percolate a little bit in me, and I was like, yeah. But I should backstory. Growing up, I collected cards. In my mid-20s, I stopped collecting. Late 90s, early 2000s, when I probably should have been collecting, because that's when it got good again, with especially NBA and Kobe and LeBron and all that stuff. And Kobe was my favorite player, so I kicked myself that I didn't collect his cards more aggressively. So I got out of the hobby. Mid-20s, I have a little money now. I have a job. Waiting tables just starting. Don't have many bills at this point, and I'm not really financially literate at this point. So I'm basically just paying our apartment rent at the time and just blowing my money on God knows what. I collected cards that I collected as a youth. I got bit by vintage cards. I went pretty hardcore into T206, all the tobacco cards, some of the candy cards, Topps cards from the 60s, 70s. I was all over the place. And all the sets from the 80s that I didn't complete. I was kind of a mess in my late 20s. I was deep into drinking and even worse stuff. And it hurts to say, a little drugs in there. And I did feel remorse. And there was a point in time when I would try to spend my money so I couldn't spend it on bad stuff. And, it's embarrassing to say now, but I know I'm glad I got through it, and I got through it with some help. And if you guys are going through it, trust me, I know where you're coming from. So I I try to spend my money, but then that didn't work because I would still spend money out and about. Eventually, fast forward a few years later, I started to get the bug to kind of let stuff go. I went back to school for a bit. I had a day off that maybe wasn't my choice, so I began to sell all my cards, and it felt good to get this money rolling in. And I still wasn't saving it really. I was like paying for school with my cards, paying for the day off. I was letting all my tobacco cards go. I let every card go. And some cards I made money on, and a lot I broke even. It wasn't bad. I kind of wish I had those cards now. That was cool. And by the way, nobody cared that I had those cards. I had awesome tobacco cards, and nobody cared. And nobody's going to care really that you have your stuff either. That's not going to bring you happiness. Trust me. So I kept every card. I sold every card but one. It was a 2011 Topps Finest Mike Trout Orange autograph. I think it was 1 out of 99. And I ended up selling that card for about $8,000, I think, net last Christmas time. And that kind of really got me going. And I took a lot of that money. And by then I was put a lot of that money towards the mortgage. And I took some of the profits and invested it into some of the cards you'll see here, the Jordan and whatnot. But so that was kind of my collecting story, and I do actually miss that Trout card. But so I'll kind of go through some of the cards I have now. We did do a little rip, my friends and I. We got just like a small pack of hoops, Trae Young. Nothing really crazy in here. I got a couple of Trae Youngs. Maybe those will grade as 10s. Got De'Aaron Fox. It's kind of weird Luka card. But let's get to the good stuff. This is just my card. Mike Tyson, rookie, 1986 Panini Super Sport. It does not have great centering. And I got this card because I know Jamie Foxx is going to do a movie about Mike Tyson's life. I think it's going to be a movie or a series. And I think it's going to bring a lot of hype to this card. I think this card is actually still pretty underpriced. I would actually probably sell this card right now because I want the mortgage gone. But I think this card has a lot of potential to go up in value. That one right there. What else do I got? One of my big things is soccer. I just started getting into soccer, and this is a good guy to get into, Erling Haaland. He plays for Dortmund right now in the German league, German Bundesliga. This is his true rookie. This is a mint 9. There's some other cool cards I want of him. But I kind of wanted like a rooting interest in soccer, so I kind of watch him when I can, even though I don't watch as much as I'd like to. But this is a card I have invested in. I think soccer is going to blow up. We're going to have 2 World Cups in the next 5 years, and the second one's going to be on U.S. soil. So I think soccer cards over the next 4-5 years are going to go up in value pretty good. I also think hockey cards are going to take a big jump forward now that they're back on ESPN, especially Connor McDavid. I've kicked myself. I didn't get a Steph Curry rookie when I should have, and I didn't get any Connor McDavid cards. This is a Juan Soto card, autographed. It's only it's 25 out of 25. 2018 Leafed Ultimate Draft Leaf Gold. Juan Soto rookie auto. It's 8.5. But I didn't put too much into this card. Just buy and hold. Check that sucker out. What I should say is, let's see, I'll go through a couple more of these cards. Some of these are definite misses too, but it'll be funny just to show them. Josh Green. This was right after I was hyped on Luka, and I bought this Josh Green card, auto. I think I bought it on draft night. 2018 draft, I think. Plays for the Mavs, and that dude does not see the court. So a little bit of a miss right there. I had a little frisky night that night. Not very good. So my buddy and I, we went on this card. It's certified auto by PSA. It is Jason Dominguez. I think his nickname is the Alien, or the Martian. The Martian. So who knows? This guy could blow up. He's got a lot of hype on him in the Yankees organization. But now let's get to a couple bombers here. Tyson. Magic. 1986. Flair. Iconic set. This is graded 9. It's got it in like a little plastic sleeve here. I went on a very bullish run on Magic. There is going to be a Showtime documentary of his, just kind of like The Last Dance for Jordan. I think it's going to give his cards a little boom when that documentary happens. Look out for some Magic cards. Then a Holy Grail card, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Sorry for the glare. I got it in like a plastic sleeve. This is graded 6, 1986 Fleer. Beautiful card to own. We bought this card and it actually rose up $2,000 at just the peak. We got this card in hand maybe about a month before the peak of Jordan and cards. And it's since dropped a little bit, which is frustrating, but it's a Jordan, and I think this card has extreme potential for the future. Probably still undervalued. I know there was a little price correction there. I'll mention the second card we bought. The first was a Luka card that I'll show you. The second card we bought was in May of 2020. So it was right after Kobe Bryant passed, and he passed, unfortunately, I think, late January, and it broke my heart. He's my favorite player, as I said. And all his cards, of course, like 10x, 5x, went absolutely crazy. And I was kicking myself, and I figured we had missed the boat on his cards by May, but we bought a 1996 Fleer Ultra, just base rookie, PSA 10. The pop at the time was in the 200s, and we ended up selling that card right before his Hall of Fame induction for about $7,000. And that card has since gone down to about $2,000, back down to $2,000. We bought that card for $800, and I split it with my buddy for. So we each cashed out, split the $4,000. So that was another good hit for us. This probably a miss. Jalen Smith. We have a Devin Booker rookie card, so we bought this guy. We were hyped up on draft night because he was going to the Suns. He's not seeing much playing time. So overall, I've done really well with the cards. Like I got that Trout card. Bought that Trout card for $400. I remember when I was at the apartment, when I was going through that card stage. I was just lucky enough, and that's a lot of money, especially back then when I didn't have any. And that card extremely rose. What we got here? Some of these I haven't looked at in a while. Another Jalen Smith. We bought like 3 of these cards that draft night, and they're not really hitting. Took a little gamble. Can't always win. So we got, I think, 3 more cards to show. Kawhi Leonard. This is his Hoops rookie, PSA 10. This card has dipped in value on me. This was actually, I split this card 3 ways with my buddies. We had about $200 each. We were going to go to this Billy Joel show, but it was canceled. And then we had a choice to get our money back or go the next year. And we were like, you know what, let's not tie up this money. Let's get a card. We were still hyped up on cards. We bought this Kawhi card, and it dipped. What can I say? He's a Hall of Famer. He's got 2 rings. If he ever wins a 3rd ring, and that will be with his 3rd team, that card's going to go back up. It's just a matter of patience on that one. Got here. This is one of the big ones we bought. Devin Booker. This is a red, white, and blue prism, PSA 10. Pretty low pop. I think this card's going to continue to rise. Booker's a machine. Phoenix is looking real good. Probably should have won the title last year. I wish he did. His favorite player is Kobe, which I love. And I got high hopes for this card. Red, white, and blue prism, Devin Booker. And then last but not least, the card that got us going, and a card that was nice, I guess, in a way, because the first card we chose skyrocketed. We bought this card for $225 each, basically, PSA 10. There's not a lot of these. I think the pop is like under 10. Card right there. So we fell in love with Luka, my buddy and I, and we fell in love with the Mavs. Luka's been a machine offensively. He probably should have beat the Clippers in the last 2 playoffs, but they blew it. He's been all NBA the last 2 years. Just, I think, a generational player. I got high hopes for this card. Like I said, we bought it for about $500, $550. Right now, there's like 9.5s at like $8,000 on eBay, so I'm not letting this sucker go anytime soon. I'm hoping to get 10K off this once the Mavs kind of find their way. And I think you got to be patient. Like, look how long it took Booker's team to blossom. LeBron, you know, how long was it before he won a ring? Giannis, who was in the league, 2014, 13? Before he won. Luka's time's coming, and that's going to be a monster hit for us right there. So those are the cards that I've invested in. Like I said, they brought me a little bit of joy, my friends and I, but like I don't sit down and watch the games like I used to, like when I was a kid. But I still box score, and it keeps me interested. So let me know if you're investing in any cards, collecting in any cards, any ideas for the future that you think might be a good buy, or any mistakes that you might have made. Let me know. Like, subscribe, get a little bit better today, break free, do what you got to do. I'm here with you, and let's do this.